Hello and welcome to BTA. In this tutorial, I'll walk you through setting up a tour, activity, or ticketed event in BTA and taking bookings for it. One quick note before we start. Today we'll be beginning in Shopify, but please note that you could create the product directly within the BTA services section if you prefer. Now we'll proceed to the first step, which is creating a Shopify product. Usually to do that, you would need to click on Add Product and proceed through the steps. For the purpose of this demo, I'll be using the wine tour product, which has already been created. You will want to set up the description, which gives your customers more information about the experience. The next thing to do is to include your media and images as necessary. And the third step is to configure your variants. Demo, we have two different options for variants. The first option would be the party size and the option to add the testing or not to. For the party size, we have two options, 2 people and 4 people, which as we can see is priced differently. Then we also have the option to add the tasting with the values yes and no, and this are also priced differently. You will proceed to pricing your variants as necessary and then saving the product. This is a great way to offer different pricing tiers or party size within this activity, which is the wine tool activity. As with our other booking types, do not enter your dates or times as variants. That is entirely handled in BTA when we'll create the schedule in our next step. So after setting the pricing for each variant, you will proceed to saving your product. Another important setting is to ensure that your inventory is set to do not track for BTA services because BTA handles availability by using our capacity settings. To do that, I'll navigate to any of these variants. I'll click on the 2 people and the yes option, and this will redirect me to every variant option we have. And as you can see, inventory is set to do not track as seen here. Another thing you want to do is to set this as not a physical product because we will not be shipping. This is just a service. So the 2 important things to ensure are set up are inventory not tracked and not a physical product. You will do the same for all the other variants as well. After completing that, we will proceed to the next step. Now, the next step is importing your product into BTA. To do that, you will click on More Actions and select BookThatApp configuration, and this will redirect you to BTA. In our demo, since the service has already been added to BTA, I will be walking you through all settings within the product page and explaining what each of them entails. Now, before we get into the services configuration, let's briefly cover resources. And to do that, proceed to settings, then resources. A resource in BTA represents anything that can be share booked, for example, a staff member, an equipment, or a room. So for tours and activities, this is useful when the same resource is shared across multiple services or products. For example, if a tour guide or a van is used across different tours, BTA can track the availability of that van across all of them automatically. So if this applies to your business, let's add your resources now before we configure the services. If that applies to your business, you want to click on Create Resource, add the name of the resource, decide whether that's a staff, equipment, or a room resource, assign it to the location, the availability, and the tags as necessary. Please feel free to refer to our article guides to give you more information on resources and what type would be best suited for your business. With our resources set up, we'll head back to the service configuration page, and to do that, we'll click on Services. Then we want to query for the wine tour activity. This is the 4th part, which is configuring the service. You'll ensure that you select your booking type to tour activity. The title and the handle are usually pre-populated for you, but feel free to update them if necessary. The next setting is capacity. So capacity controls the maximum number of people permitted by time slot for the tour. So BTA provides you with 3 capacity bases. We have product, variant, and resource. You can get more information on the tooltip. This provides you with a link to a help desk article that provides more info on the capacity setting. For the purpose of this demo, the wine tour takes a capacity of 10, which means that for every duration of the tour, only 10 customers can be part of that tour. There are different options, such as the variant option, which allows you to set up availability per specific variant. For example, if I only want to have 3 people for the variant no testing and party size of 4 people, I will then set the capacity to 3. This will ensure that only 3 customers can sign up for this specific variant in total. You would do the same for the other variants as well. The other option is the resource bases, which we discussed previously. This service is not utilizing the resources, but if you're using resources, you will want to click on Manage Resource and add the resource. As discussed previously, resources allow you to share capacity across the staff, the equipment, or the room. You can get more information as well within the help desk article linked in the tooltip. The next setting is duration. The duration allows you to determine how long you want to run your tour for. The wine tour will be running for just 1 hour. Now, another important setting for tours with multiple ticket types is the units. Usually this is found within the variant actions and you click on manage. So this is an important setting because it defines how many attendees each variant represents. For example, a single ticket has units of 1 since it only represents 1 person. However, the group ticket with a value of 2 people would represent 2 people, and you will set your unit to 2 people. You will set this to 2 people as well, and then for the 4 people, you'll set this to 4 and this to 4 as well. So this means that when a single ticket is purchased, total capacity will reduce by 4 because this should represent 4 people. For this variant, the total ticket count will reduce by 2 because this should represent 2 people. So this ensures that your tour is never overbooked regardless of the mix of ticket types that are being sold. One more thing to note is if you'll be selling individual tickets, you will want to keep your units as one. The next setting is locations. If your tour departs from or takes place at a specific location, you can assign them here. This also allows you to configure your address within your reminder emails to be sent out for the exact location, which is a great functionality for the tours and experiences. Scroll down to the next setting, which is the date picker settings. This is the cutoff days and the future days. The cutoff days controls how far in advance to the tour date that your customers can book, whereas the future days controls how close to the tour date your customers can book. For example, from this demo, we see that the cutoff days is 1 day, which means the earliest the customer can book is 1 day from today. However, for the future days, that means that any days outside 100 days into the future should not be available for your customers to book. You can get more information within the tooltip as well. I'll skip on to the next setting, which is the calendar settings. So this allows you to choose the booking color for this tour. So you can easily differentiate it from other products on your booking overview calendar. You can set it up with a different background color, the text color, and the border color as well. As for the sign-up list, this is where you enter an email address if you'd like an enrollment report to be sent to you automatically. This is useful for keeping your team informed on who has booked ahead of the tour date. Now we're going to proceed to part 5, which is creating the tour schedule. So this is where you define the actual date and times that your tours will run. In the schedule section, we have two options, either the one-off dates and the repeat options. One-off dates are usually just for irregular dates. For example, if I'll be running my tour on the 16th of June 2026 at 12 p.m., and that will not repeat, I'll just set that up as a one-off date and save that. We do have the repeat button, which is used for tours that run on a regular basis. To do that, you want to click on Add Date, select the start of when you want your tour to start. You can also choose the location if this will be location specific. You'll click on Repeat and then set up the recurring pattern. For example, if I am to set up this to run in June, July, and August, only Mondays and Tuesdays at 12, and this will repeat every week. Please ensure to always include the end date as well to ensure that you do not have infinite occurrences into the future, and then proceed to save this. So what this does is it automatically generates the schedule based on the recurrence rule you set, saving you from entering each date manually. So you will want to select which option best fits your tour, enter your dates, and click on Save. We want to proceed to the next step, which is previewing your service on the storefront. And to do that, we will click on the View button. This will redirect us to the storefront. So we're now on the product page, and we can see the booking widget rendering the availability of the tour dates as well as the locations. Your customer will choose the location, select the date, and click on Next. They will get the option to choose their ticket type. I will select one ticket and click on Book Now. This redirects them to the add-ons page. The add-ons page is the add-ons page provides you with an upsell functionality where you can upsell any product you have. For this demo, I will add one gift pack. Click on Continue and proceed to cart. As seen within the page, we have our gift pack, which is add-on, and the wine tour as well. Your customers will then proceed to checkout by clicking on Checkout. Once they check out, a booking will be created upon order creation. You can view a live example of this setup on our demo store. One final tip, once your tours are live, you can consider adding a link to your store navigation pointing to the BTA calendar page. To do that, you will proceed to adding the event calendar widget by clicking on this and following the steps as prompted. Since I already have an event calendar widget, I'll just proceed into it. This provides with a code that you can copy and embed anywhere within your theme page. So this gives your customers a single place to browse all available tours and tickets, which is useful if you run multiple experiences. This is a view of how the events calendar widget looks like. There is the older format of the events calendar widget, and this is found within Settings, Proceed to Templates. Click on Calendar. This allows you to do a lot more customization within the events calendar. Please note that this classic form of the events calendar redirects to the app/BookThatApp/calendar, which I'll click on. And as mentioned, you can see all your events within one view. You're ready to start taking tour and activity bookings. Please feel free to write into support@BookThatApp.com anytime you need support along the way, and our team will be glad to help you get set up. Thank you for your time.